So Santa Inc. is now the worst rated television show of all time on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb. And if you don't know what Santa Inc. is, you definitely need to go check out the trailer on HBO Max. Let me bring up what the trailer is looking like right now on HBO Max. And obviously dislikes are disabled on YouTube now, but you can get some, Chrome extensions and stuff like that to be able to see the like to dislike ratios on this stuff. It's 3.6k likes to 141,000 dislikes on this trailer for Santa Inc. And if you don't know why, and there's only 700,000 views on the trailer, so that ratio in itself, 700,000 views to 141,000 dislikes, is also a pretty crazy ratio. But if you don't know why, if you don't know what the hatred about Santa Inc. is all about, just go watch the trailer for yourself. Obviously, I'll explain it in this video as time goes on, but you need to watch it for yourself. It's pretty crazy stuff, and I kind of think this is the culmination of so many years of Hollywood and the people inside of Hollywood being brainwashed into pushing these weird agendas, pushing this weird propaganda of so many different things. I think this is the culmination. This is kind of the Avengers Endgame of Hollywood, where all these years of pushing these agendas, this propaganda, has culminated into this one just weird ass show that probably no one would have even heard about or watched at all if this didn't happen, if all this controversy didn't happen. No one's watching this show unless they put this stuff in it. So I guess, the old saying, no publicity is bad publicity, kind of does check out here, because they're probably going to get a lot more viewers on their show than they would have if this never happened. But let's check out what I'm talking about today. Santa Inc. starring Seth Rogen becomes the lowest rated TV show ever on IMDb and on Rotten Tomatoes. Seth Rogen stars as Santa Claus in a new holiday series that doesn't seem to be bringing joy to the world. It's really not, and you can just tell if you go watch the trailer. Like I said, there's so much hatred inside of this show. It's not just making jokes about politics like this article says, and like Seth Rogen and Sarah Silverman says. It's not just making jokes about politics. You can tell there's true hatred behind some of the stuff that they're saying in the trailer. And honestly, having politics in your show is bad enough. It's enough for me to not want to watch the show, because I can't escape it on the day-to-day. I go on Twitter, all I see is stuff about politics. When I watch TV shows and movies, that's the opposite of what I want to see. I want escapism, and that's been my problem with so much of Hollywood, especially stuff like Marvel, where they claim to have escapism in their shows. At least Santa Inc. is open that they're having a lot of these, political jokes and stuff, and that aren't even funny in the first place, but also very full of hatred. And when it comes to Marvel, they're not very open about having all these politics in their shows and in their movies. They kind of try to slide it through the back door, and they just hit us over the head with it randomly, and it takes the escapism out of it, but then they claim to have escapism. At least Santa Inc. is open that they're not trying to have escapism, and I'll show you one very embarrassing clip right here in 1 second that just sums it all up. It sums up the entire situation. Just wait 1 second on that, and I'll show you. First, let's get into these ratings on IMDb on Rotten Tomatoes that are absolutely hilarious. Santa Inc., a new HBO Max series released December 2nd, has scored staggeringly low on Rotten Tomatoes and has earned the lowest rating ever on IMDb. It received an average audience score of 3% on Rotten Tomatoes and an IMDb rating of 1.1 out of 10. This series now takes the top spot on IMDb's list of lowest rated TV shows, beating out a 2005 Hungarian drama that received a 1.4 rating. This is so crazy. And, of course, Seth Rogen and Sarah Silverman are claiming that this is all about racism. This is all about white supremes. I can't say the word, why, but this is all about white supremes and stuff like that. But that's not the case. Obviously 1.1 on IMDb, 3% on Rotten Tomatoes. Do you really think there's that? Do you think that most of the population, that most of the people who leave reviews on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb are white supremes? Do you really think that that's the case? Or do you think that most people, most regular people out there, just want to see TV shows and movies that have true escapism? They want to see TV shows and movies where they don't have to deal with politics, because like I said earlier, they can't go anywhere in the real world and not deal with politics. So whenever you try to go into a movie or a TV show to escape, and they slam you over the head with even more politics, even more hatred, even more of these agendas, it's not what people want to see. So they don't even have to watch the show. Once they know what the show's about, you can leave a bad review on it. You can leave the 3% on Rotten Tomatoes, the 1.1 on IMDb, because everyone knows they're not going to like this show, and they have to let Hollywood know. You have to let idiots like Seth Rogen and Sarah Silverman know this isn't what people are looking for. How else are they going to figure it out? I think if they don't figure it out off of this, then they will just never be able to figure it out. They'll just always think that they're right, and everyone who doesn't like what they say, everyone who doesn't like what they do, are completely wrong, and they're probably all these istophobes that they're always throwing around. But here is Seth Rogen's reaction to the awful ratings, the worst of all time ratings for Santa Inc. We really pissed off tens of thousands of white supremes with our new show Santa Inc., which is now available on HBO Max. Please read the responses to this tweet for confirmation. The guy is just so far gone. I don't think there's any way you can bring him back. He's so far into these political agendas, these political ideals, that he just thinks anyone who disagrees with him on anything, even if you just dislike a show that he is in or created, he thinks that you are a white supreme. That's how bad it's gotten for Seth Rogen, and that's how bad it's gotten for most of Hollywood, to be honest. But let's check out this clip. Like I said, it's pretty embarrassing, and it kind of sums up the whole situation pretty quickly. So let's check it out.
Oh, you want to sit on the couch and watch the fire roar?
No, I would rather watch an R-rated animated Christmas comedy with a touch of a feminist agenda.
I have just the...
So they are very self-aware, and obviously they're making a joke because people are saying that the show has a feminist agenda, but what they failed to mention is that the show also has a extreme anti-white agenda as well as a feminist agenda, and also a lot of other agendas that are very full of hatred and stuff like that. So the irony in all this, of course, is that they're saying that the people who are leaving bad reviews on the show are white supremes and racist and all these istophobes and stuff, but in reality the show that they're creating, the content that they're putting out, are the real problem. It's where the real racism and stuff like that, it's where the real istophobes are, to be honest. It's where the real hatred is coming from, because all these people who are leaving negative reviews on their show, yeah, they're probably feeling angry, they're probably feeling annoyed, but they don't have true hatred in their heart for shows. You know, they're not out there trying to go leave bad reviews on shows for no reason. We're leaving bad reviews, and I didn't leave a review, I'm saying we, but people like me are leaving reviews on these shows, not because we're just mad at TV shows in general, not because we're just mad that they're making TV shows in Hollywood or some stupid reason, and it's definitely not because we're white supremes or any of the istophobes that you try to call us. It's because we're tired of people making shows like this. And like I said, this is kind of the culmination of so many years and so many agendas and so many people being brainwashed by Hollywood and all of their agendas and all of their propaganda. This is the Avengers Endgame of the Hollywood brainwashing of people like Seth Rogen and Sarah Silverman. This is as bad as it can get, without people just saying, you know what, I'm checking out, I'm not going to watch any more of this stuff, I totally give up. Because that's where I'm at, honestly. I watch a couple of movies, a couple of TV shows a year that people that I really trust tell me that they're really good. So far, I've really only liked, movie-wise, I've really liked Free Guy and I really liked Dune, and that's about it movie-wise. There's been a bunch of TV shows, but for the most part, I've just checked out of Hollywood altogether. I said, you know what, I'm going to watch what people tell me are really good, and I'll watch Star Wars stuff, and that's about it. But I think if more shows and more movies continue to be as bad as this when it comes to the just straight up hatred for people who think differently than these people, who are in a very small bubble, obviously most of the world doesn't think as extremely as they do on these certain political topics, and even people who probably somewhat agree with them, somewhat align with their political ideals, probably also dislike this show because they don't even want their own politics being agreed with in shows like this. Even they want escapism from stuff like this. Let me know what you guys think about Santa Inc. getting a 3% on Rotten Tomatoes, breaking the all-time record for the worst rated TV show, and Seth Rogen and Sarah Silverman throwing absolute fits on Twitter over Santa Inc. being the worst rated TV show of all time. Let me know what you think about the whole situation. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. If you want to follow me on Twitter, the links I have in the description as well. Thank you for watching the video. Hope to see you in the next one.